truly good with you guys. Today we have the Subsequent 37 by Moog today, and I want to put this in front of you guys because this is like the epitome of what I do in terms of bass and synth and my bass lines. And for those who follow me, you know I'm really big on bass lines. So I'm really excited to talk about this today. The first thing that I love about this is the USB functionality. So I can actually control my DAW with using the Sub 37 because it has the USB. All right, so this is dope. All right, guys, now the next thing I absolutely love about this is the integration with the software. So if we come over here to Moog Music and I come over here to the Subsequent editor, we can load this up. And now we actually have this as basically a virtual remote control, and this is going to talk to the Sub 37 and vice versa. Now to get the Sub 37 editor, you need to head over to moogmusic.com, and then you need to go ahead and register your Sub 37 if you haven't already. Please go ahead and do that. And once you do, you can come over into your account and come over here to editors, and then go to the Subsequent 37 editor librarian, and then you can download that. And then once you've downloaded it, then you'll be able to pull it up like I have it over here, and you can get these to talk to each other via USB. Once again, this is one of the main reasons why I decided on the Sub 37. So if I do something here, let's say if I change this to Up in the Sky, well now the Moog changes to that. Super dope. And same thing here. Let's say if I change this to another patch, it corresponds here. So we can pull up the editor, and now we have the exact replica of what we're doing. So now this is not a VST instrument, guys. So this is not an instrument. This is a remote control for these things to talk to each other. So I can save a patch in the Moog 37 itself, and it'll save directly on here, or I can make a patch via here in the editor and save as, let's say, to a new user, and bam, I can save this and put it in my Moog 37. So this, I cannot describe how thankful I am for this feature enough. This is not sponsored by Moog at all. This is your boy just genuinely geeking out. What I love about this is being able to, you know, pull up a stock patch and be able to edit right away. So let's say I like this patch. I can instantly just start tweaking it right away. All right, really love that a lot. So I'm going to give you guys a basic rundown of how this thing works for the ultimate beginner if you know nothing about synths. This is the main area where you're going to want to really be concerned about is your mixer and your filter and your basically your ADSR, your attack, decay, sustain, and release. Your mods are going to be your complementary thing, if you will. And then your arpeggiator is going to be your sauce, if you want to add that in there. And then we have our legato and the glide. And I use it in this order to be able to get the fundamental sound first from your oscillators, your mixer, filter, ADSR, and then come over here to your effects. So to get to your unit presets, all we need to do is come over here to our bank, and it's going to vary between if you have user patches already, but for me, it's going to be in bank 12. For you, it might be bank 11. So I'm going to go into a unit preset here. Now we have our mixer here with our different oscillators. So everything is turned on. So what I'm going to do is turn everything off. So we shouldn't have any sound at all. Now what we're going to do is build from scratch. We're going to start with our first oscillator. And all we're doing is we're taking these waves and we're going to layer them to give us a dope sound. So what we're going to do here is get the first layer going. So we have here our triangle wave. All right, similar to a sine wave, but it's got a little bit of harmonics on the top of it. So this is our triangle. Next, we're gonna go into our sawtooth. All right, see the harmonics there? Then we have a square wave. Then we have the pulse wave, which is all the way over to the right. All right, it's got like more of that kind of quack quack kind of feel to it. So over here is where we have our octave. Now we have our second oscillator that we're getting ready to introduce here. So we have oscillator 2. All right, now we can control the octave of this. We'll do a sub if you want. And now we have more of a sub bass sound, but with a little bit of harmonics, which is giving us again that triangular kind of sound. Now we have our frequency down here, and this is per the oscillator here. So we have the high and low. So we have a fifth. Back in tune. Now we have like a fifth below. So it kind of has that Chris Brown organ kind of sound to it. That kind of vibe. So I'm gonna put this back. Then we have our beat frequency. So we can get a little bit of movement if we want. And this is how we get more of the dance kind of feeling, the more pop side when we add that movement. We also have a duo mode here, and this allows us to play 2 notes maximum. So back to our mixer, we have our oscillator 1 and 2 on, but we also have a couple of more things that we can use. We could turn on the sub and get even more low end. See there? So if you want to turn on the sub, you can. This is optional, it's up to you. Sometimes I use the sub for more beef. All right, then we have our noise. We can introduce different textures of noise. I like the white noise. So that's pretty much this side. Next, we're getting into our filter. Now our filter is basically like our EQ over the whole thing, but not just EQ, but it's harmonics. So all the way down. Now, what we also have is our resonance. Now, our resonance is going to give us a bit of a reso curve, if you will. You hear that? See, it's adding like a little bit of that instead of it just being like a ooh. Then we have our EG amount. So this gives us more of that wah kind of introductory here. So let's say we want a very slow attack. We're going to turn this up. See how long it takes? Then if you want a fast attack, of course. All right, next we have our decay, which is basically like the in between here just before we get to the sustain. It's this part of the wave that's on its way down, on the way down, all right? This is that right here. Then we have our sustain, which is basically the sustain of the patch here. When we hold the note, how much of the patch is staying sustained, if that makes sense. So check this out. Then, of course, we have our release, which is when we hit the note and we let go of it, how long it rings out, the release. So, see there? I don't have to hold it for it to sustain. The basics that I use this modulation for is for my modulation wheel in particular. So what we can do here is set this to oscillator 1 right here. And now we have our LFO rate, which is going to tell us how fast the modulation is happening. And this is what's allowing us to see that with this light flickering. See? Now when it's flashing fast, flashing slow, and then how much of it. Now I want to talk about some sounds here, some special sounds, and I'm so honored to announce, guys, that I have my own custom expansion pack ready for the Sub 37. And if you guys are interested in that, I'll leave it tagged below. But of course, you guys know it doesn't stop there. I have the one shots available for you to use in your DAW, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that in just a few here. I want to showcase some of my favorite sounds, which is, of course, my sound pack. Of course, I'm going to be biased. I'm telling you, you guys, you're definitely going to want this pack. So once again, I'll leave it tagged below. Now these are the one shots of all of the patches. Perfect. So let's say I want to get the same patch. I want to come over here to the Sub Dilla. So I'm going to drag and drop this as a sample instrument here. And now what we can do is check this out over here. All right, let's turn that off and let's. Simple. Let's try another patch. Let's delete this one and let's get another one. Let's say we want to use the PJ Who. Drag and drop that. All right, real easy to do. Now, if you guys are interested in going for the absolute deep dive on the Sub 37 and the whole synth experience, let me know in the comments, guys. I had so much fun with this. I hope you guys did. And if you did have fun with this, go ahead, give your brother a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on those bell notifications, and I'll catch you on the next one. And guys, go get the Sub 37 expansion.